Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 81 days away from its official release by Disney and Lucasfilm in order to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself, before they head on over to the new Star Wars trilogy throughout the 2020s. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to have many different revelations. Even the actor who portrayed Chewbacca in the sequel trilogy, Eunice Watama, even said that the entire movie is a "I did not see this coming" moment, and that it really is speak volumes. It really does, sound like a big, bold statement by Eunice. The fact that this movie is going to be filled with all of these different revelations, twists and turns, etc. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Rey, Poe, and Finn traveling to a world based over in the Outer Rim that is said to contain a location called the Exotic City and the Palace of the Dark Prince, who is said to be one of Leia's contacts that knows information about the First Order and a rising army over in the unknown regions. Now, it's explained that eventually Rey and her crew discover the Dark Prince Palace and travel inside, to which they are stopped by guards, where they ask for him. Eventually, the Dark Prince brings Rey and her friends up towards his observatory, where they are talking about the state of the galaxy and the death of Luke Skywalker, to which the Dark Prince explains that he worked very closely with Luke during the infancy of the First Order and after the Battle of Jakku, and that one of their missions Luke went under the name of a secret identity called Coral Marcus, to infiltrate an Imperial base that served as the backbone of the first stage of the First Order, where they worked together to destroy it. Now, it's described that all of this took place just near the border of the unknown regions, and that many First Order troopers and officers, and many of those associated with the First Order, actually know the story of Coral Marcus. However, it was secretly Luke Skywalker all along, working with the Dark Prince, also known as Lan Li. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, first things first, we heard about this lightly a couple of months ago, about Luke Skywalker's secret identity. I believe it's already established in the Disney canon, however, it's not well known to the casual fans around the world. So, Luke Skywalker's secret identity, also known as Coral Marcus, it's actually spelled Korlmarcus. Very interesting name. That's the name that Luke Skywalker chose to use as an alias while he was actually on a mission with the Dark Prince, who is also known as Lan Li, which is spelled Lanlee. So what's really interesting about this is that we can already tell that they are trying to explore a little bit more about Luke Skywalker's past. Little references here and there by these new characters, giving us little tidbits of the adventures and the legends of Luke Skywalker. So, the one thing about Episode 9 is that Rey and her crew, at a certain point in time in this movie, in the second act, they are actually searching for a place called the Exotic City, and of course, the Palace of the Dark Prince. Now, the Dark Prince is said to be at least one of Leia's contacts over in the Outer Rim. Now, a part of this plot is actually said to involve multiple contacts of Leia, one of which, by the way, is said to be Lando Calrissian on the world of Pasaana. So, Lando Calrissian is said to be the main contact on the desert world of Pasaana, where the contact over in this exotic world is actually said to be Lan Li, that actually Leia knew because of Luke Skywalker. So, what's really intriguing about this as well is that a handful of the First Order officers and the stormtroopers and many of those associated with the First Order know the story of Coral Marcus and what he did to that large hangar bay that contained many different vehicles, ships, supplies, etc. that Luke and Prince Lan Li destroyed. Now, what's great about this is that it's actually said that Prince Lan Li is said to be a light version of course, what we got in the EU, also known as the Expanded Universe, in the Shadows of the Empire era, where we actually had Prince Shizor. That was basically a main villain in, of course, the Star Wars EU back in the 1990s and, of course, the early 2000s. So you can see how J.J. Abrams is borrowing elements and kind of changing things around a little bit here and there to do something very unique and original to the Disney canon Star Wars universe, which, like I say, may be a good or a bad thing depending on how it's all going to be executed on the big screen. So that's a very interesting side of Luke's story. I do know that back in 2015 they explored, Luke's secret identity. In fact, it's all over Google. It's a very interesting part indeed. And when we think about episode 9, we always think about the fact that this is yet the culmination of the Skywalker saga, but it's also going to be a movie that serves as a foundation to create something brand new for the franchise and for the fans around the world that's really going to do something very amazing for, of course, the very end of the sequel trilogy as a whole. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.